TCK. Happy Thursday, Choco peeps, and welcome back to another segment of Kai Plays. As we go into the summer here, I want to take this opportunity to let you know about our current nonprofit venture, as teased in our previous installment, and which started this week. As of June the 1st and lasting until July 31st, as part of TCK's Summerfest 2021 festivities, we are supporting the Trevor Foundation, the Trevor Project, through Tiltify. Now, we're going to be doing a lot of events over the coming 60 days here as part of our Saren Ignis campaign for equality in honor of our late friend. And as a part of that, if you were willing or able to spread the word, it really would help a lot in terms of getting the message out there and supporting a good cause. Now, if you're following along after the fact on YouTube, you'll see a link at the end of this segment or in the description below for our YouTube video explaining some of the events that we're going to be having coming up here. We're running new stuff every single week, so definitely stay tuned for that and keep an eye on our social media. With that, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. As you may have noticed from the stream title, and if you've been following along for recent segments, we do have some Final Fantasy IV for you this week. We're going to pick up with episode 16 in the Sealed Cave. Now a misnomer, I'm sure, as we've unlocked it. And we are working on getting the final crystal to keep it out of the clutches of the evil Golbez. Now, I did a little bit off screen, but not really a lot that's worth mentioning. Just a little bit of leveling that wasn't quite as successful as I'd hoped, and a little bit of filling in the map to try to cut down on some screen time bloat here. Oh, we seem to have the stream frozen, so give me just one moment to figure that out. There we go. I believe we had everybody at a pretty decent HP threshold when last I checked. Yeah, they're doing pretty fine. So I don't actually remember how much more of this cave is left, but I think we are approaching the end. Oops. I don't want to deal with those. Now, while we make our way through here, first thing I want to let you know, the first event that we're running as a part of the Summerfest 2021 festivities is a screenshot contest that will be running until this coming Monday, and we'll have both a social media winner as well as a TCK winner. So if you post on the Discord, Knights have the opportunity to win a new hairstyle, recently released in the game and exclusive to this event. And if you participate over social media, including our community page on Facebook, you have the opportunity to win an attire coffer from one of the most recent patches. So fun stuff there. Can't wait to see some of the fun summer-themed screenshots that are coming out for that contest. And of course, we'll be sharing those on social media as they roll out. Wow, these guys are really trolling. They're just hell-bent on eating up as much MP as possible, which is why I don't bother to fight them. Good times, man. Perfect. Alright, into a new zone. Oh, this one's got treasure immediately available to us. But is it a mimic? It's not a mimic. We just about ran out of places that could be mimics at this point. I know there were some doors left on the previous floor before I ended this most recent stream segment. Before you wonder or have to keep yourself awake at night thinking about it, yes, all of them were mimics. Every one of them. And yes, we are still having Cain equipped with a sword, and yes, it feels as dirty now as it did when we initially did it. But until they give me a spear that's worthwhile and can actually damage the enemies down here, we're going to have to roll with what we've got. That's no door, it's a monster. I'm shocked. Are you shocked? Because I'm shocked. Now on the upside here, with Rosa just stuck using Prey on Luke, we are recovering basically as much MP as we're using. Like, we're technically losing a little bit more than we're gaining. Especially at the rate we've been consuming it with these back attacks, but we haven't had to splurge too much on items, which is nice, because we did a lot of shopping in the last segment. I don't remember what these are weak to be honest. I don't think I've seen this particular comp in a while. They've got a pretty good amount of HP, though, by the looks of them. It's about 4 good hits, and they go down. Rydia seems to be struggling to hit much of anything, which I suppose is not a big deal, but I'm noticing a pattern. Okay. Look at the face on this dude. That's something. Oh, interesting. Oh, he was short-lived. Arise. Ooh. Edge is almost to level 50. We're getting there. Now I'm curious about Arise. It has different effects in different games. Most typically it acts like Raise but gives full HP. Less commonly it works like Re-Raise and gives the auto-raise ability. Revive KO target and restore HP. Okay, yeah, so it's a revive full heal. Which also, incidentally, if something is under the zombie effect, or is otherwise undead, normally Arise will just kill them, just outright. This is a whole new zone. Let's circle back to this. Just got some more map we want to fill in here. Silent Bell. I imagine that casts silence on one or more enemies, but let's have a look. Siren causes nearby monsters to attack. Increase max HP by 50. I seem to have scrolled right past it here. Am I looking right at it? There it is. Cast silence, yes, okay. A weird item to find so deep in this cave. Could it be a hint? We might find out. We seem to have recovered most of our MP at this point. That's good. Die, potato. Some lightning arrows. Ooh. We won't use those while we're down here because a little bit of off-screen testing revealed that most of the enemies down here are resistant to most forms of magic. Looking around at the environment here, you would think that most things would likely be immune to fire, but in fact the opposite is true. Many of the things down here are only weak to fire. Who knew? A mimic door. I'm shocked. How many mimics is that now? I'd have to go back and watch, but I feel like it's at least a dozen. Perfect. Of course the room is empty. Naturally. Alright. Now we know how to get down to this lower level. Found it by accident here. Now, slowly but surely, Edge is catching up with the rest of the party. We found him a nice new accessory earlier on off-screen called a Black Hood, which did sacrifice a little bit of attack power, but made him a little bit tankier, so that should help us not have to spend entire fights rezzing and protecting Edge to get him credit for participating, so perhaps he'll have an easier time catching up now. I do love Edge. He is arguably my favorite character, but he definitely struggles when you get him at first. He's very vulnerable to magic damage, especially when he's in the front row. Let's see here. Oh dear. Ripperoni with extra cheese. We missed one too many attacks, guys. Perfect. How much you want to bet this room's empty, too? Glad I didn't make that bet. Although none of the treasure chests recently have had much that's very exciting in them. Ethers are nice, don't get me wrong, but they're kind of a niche use. X potion. All right. That's it for this room. Let's get out of here. Just leaves to the left. Don't accidentally run into the rope. Let's go this way. Now, interestingly, Kane does seem to be doing more damage than Cecil currently. I believe that might have something to do with his other equipment, because I believe Cecil's sword has a higher attack stat on it, but Kane has stuff that is sacrificing HP for damage. But to be fair, I think that makes the most sense. Cecil is kind of the group's tank. Two blue fangs. Uh-oh. There we go. Problem solved. Still, feels nice to be at the point of the game where we're hitting for a good 3,000 damage a pop. I think Cecil's basically back to maximum MP at this point. Ooh, level 50 and a new ninjutsu. Let's just go check that out. I'm pretty sure it's probably wind damage based on the name alone, but what they say about assumptions. Yep, attack with wind. Nice. Now, since we seem to be back at maximum MP, we can switch Rosa into just doing some more damage, at least until we get a few more back attacks from those Chimera brains, and then we've got to switch again. Interesting. A save point. So let's take the hint and adjust our settings a little bit. We're going to turn the battle speed down. As painful as that has the tendency to be, we've learned that when you're going into uncertain territory, that is often the difference between life and death. I don't remember having slot 2. That was 22 minutes into the game. Alright, moving on. Okay, so we're not right into a boss chamber, so we can turn that battle speed back up here. Is this just a big donut around a hole in the middle? I feel like it has the potential to be. If you're wondering why I doubled back there, I could see a pixel that hadn't loaded on the map, and I really didn't want to have to deal with that after we completed our circuit, so just get that out of the way. Perfect. What do we got here? Okay, we've got the stairs down, we've got the rope down to the north. They really don't want me to cast spells. No, Cain is silenced. What shall we do? Cecil's level 58, my goodness. He's almost ready to tackle Stormblood content, guys. Youch. Okay. That is a very dead vampirus. Let's top off a little bit here. I don't think I'm going to bother to remove the silence debuff from Cain. He can't cast spells, guys. Alright, so since we've completed our circuit back up towards the north, let's find out if this goes anywhere first. It does not. I rather suspected, but... Which way's shorter? I feel like the left is shorter because of where we are. So we're going to do that. '56, 55. Ooh, death magic. Love me some death magic. Sealed cave, basement 5. Feels like we're probably creeping up on the end of this place. This looks, it's got the shape of a boss chamber to it, don't you think? Got an air of finality to it. And we have missed 2% of this map. Somehow. Someplace. Oh, it was approaching the door. Was the last 2%. A megalixir. Alright, let's tweak that battle setting again. Top off HP real quick. Watch us go through this preparations and there's like 10 more floors. This dungeon's been longer than you'd expect. Oh, it's a monster. Surprise, surprise. You can actually appreciate the difference in the character's speed stats when you turn the battle speed down a little bit. Cool, moving on. This sure looks final to me. There's actually a crystal here, guys. We might have gotten here first. Obtained dark crystal. I guess that's it. Time to leave. Ah, but a cutscene interrupts us. The walls! They're moving! This cave was designed to protect the crystal. There must be the last line of defense in case someone attempts to escape from it. Guess we'll just have to smash it. The demon wall. Alright, let's start right out by... Is it smoke? No, it's mirage. Let us assume that everything wants to kill us, because it does. And let's go with... Where is it? Shell. On just the whole party. Just to start right out with. No holds barred, we're just gonna go pedal to the metal from the outset. Edge is gonna make himself harder to hit, and hopefully that helps. Now we're gonna start probing elemental resistances here. Let's start with... Let's go ice. He's a wall. Wall's made of stone. Stone doesn't like to be... I guess he doesn't have ice, does he? Stone doesn't generally like to be frozen or get wet, so let's start with... No, we're gonna have Leviathan coming out with water. Let's start with Tremor. Let's go Protect on the whole party. Okay. Gonna be buffed right up about as much as we can go. Tremor. So he's not weak to Tremor. Let's try Gale. Leviathan's coming out with that water damage. This will let us know if water's the correct option here. I suppose we could have waited for Tidal Wave to go off first, but you'll learn. Worst case, if we have Edge using the wrong element, it will do some damage. He's not weak to that either. It's not earth, and it's not water. It's not holy. Is it wind? It's not wind. Let's try ice. I don't know what's going to happen when he reaches us. I don't know if it's game over or what. We're gonna find out, probably. Let's see. Tremor, Flood, Gale, Blix. I don't think we've tried yet. Okay, I'm gonna try ice. Not weak to ice. He didn't like that, though. Not weak to thunder either. Can we Asuna that stone off from Rydia? We can. Perfect. Well, if it's not weak to anything in particular, we might as well use our heaviest hitting attacks against it. Out of curiosity, fire-based attack, fire off fire, blizzard, thunder, quake, drain, silence, spider silk. I wonder if we can buy ourselves some time. Oop. We can. Okay. Oh, he didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. Did that miss her? I could have sworn somebody got petrification thrown on them. Okay. Going full tilt. Yikes! Max damage on Rydia. Okay. So I guess when he gets close enough, he just starts casting death on people. Hopefully that slow buys us some time. Crush. Youch. Okay. Is raise. Come on, Kai. There it is. Oh, he spams crush pretty quickly, actually. So we may have to redo this, but open with the slow debuff pretty much right out of the gate. Because once he gets in range here, it's nigh impossible to out DPS him, is what I'm seeing. We're gonna try to take advantage of Edge's speed to throw out some reses to try to like out DPS this. HP apparently doesn't matter, so. Oh, where's item? There it is. We might not be close enough to him being dead for this to matter, but we'll find out. He's got it in for our buddy Kane here. We are also hemorrhaging Gil on these Phoenix Downs, not gonna lie. right by the skin of our teeth. We took him down. He made us work for it. And unfortunately, we downed him in such a way that Edge gets no experience again. But that's a lot of experience, too. That's 200k. That feels bad. Achievement unlocked. Defeated Demon Wall. Don't try possessing any other walls, either. Yeah, you tell him. Alright, let's see. We want to raise you and you and you. Alright. We'll be right back after a very brief intermission. Alright, and we're back. Now we've tackled the perils that is the Demon Wall. We have acquired the crystal, which brought us here in the first place. I think it's time to get out of here, don't you? I think to that end, though, let's go ahead and increase the battle speed, because we're sure to have to fight our way out of here. Sure enough. Now, Demon Wall is something of a staple in the Final Fantasy franchise, for those who aren't already aware. I don't believe it has any significant appearances before Final Fantasy IV. I don't recall it certainly being an enemy in the first 3 games. Fairly confident about that one. But starting from Final Fantasy IV and moving onwards, you tend to encounter it a lot more often. One of some notoriety to myself and a friend of mine is the one from Final Fantasy VII in the Temple of the Ancients. My unfortunate friend had gotten to a point in the game where, without a backup save file, he was stuck in a spot where there wasn't much of anything he could do to resupply, and just wasn't able to get past the Demon Wall. I don't remember exactly what his layout was for his party, but it was whatever he'd done to optimize for the characters that he had with him was not set up in a way that could get him through the boss. And I think he was relying on items he didn't have easy access to and no way to go and acquire them. Probably ethers would be my best guess. But Demon Wall makes several more appearances. You find them as smaller mobs in Final Fantasy VIII, as well as, I believe, Final Fantasy IX. It's been a little while since I played FF9. You certainly encounter monoliths as a trash mob in Final Fantasy X. They have zombie and petrification effects, which makes them absolutely nasty to fight against. In Final Fantasy XII, you fight a Demon Wall boss in the Tomb of Wraithwall, I'm pretty sure. Let's top off our resources here with a cottage. Or let's just use the last tent. One less item to scroll through. Perfect. Go ahead and save. And then, of course, there is a demon wall boss, as well as several demon books in Final Fantasy XIV. So, oops, we needed to go up through the middle, that's right, yes. Yeah, the demon walls, they have a tendency to have a few things in common. Most notably is some nasty status effects. Quite often they'll have petrification breath, or the zombie ability, or they'll add the slow status effect. Some of them, combinations of the above. Some of them, like the one that we just encountered here, are more of a DPS race, where they're just kind of creeping towards you and you have to beat them before time runs out. I don't remember an example off the top of my head, but I believe there's at least one instance where if you don't defeat the demon wall within a flat amount of time, it's an automatic game over, which is no bueno. I do remember very vivid memory of Final Fantasy X going through the Omega Ruins and fighting against the monoliths there, because I needed to capture them for the mini-game that was the Fiend Arena. Some of you may recall this. The thing that always kind of made me chuckle about that is that to complete the Fiend Arena mini-quest, you needed to capture enemies, and capturing enemies required the use of specific capture weapons. You needed to deal the finishing blow with one of those weapons, and it didn't count if you used magic and you had one of those weapons equipped. You needed to deal physical damage to win. And the idea of Yuna and Guardians piling on this animate wall with big old claws and just like clobbering it into submission so they could drag it back to the Comlands, it always made me giggle. Some enemies, it's like, oh yeah, you capture them, like a Flan, for example, a slime. Sure. You could probably come up with a few creative ways to do that, but a whole ass wall. Something about that. We're not fighting Chimera Brains, because they do this. This particular floor, I think, is the reason why I had to switch Rosa to spamming Prey. It seemed like every encounter was more Chimera Brains, and of course every door was a monster, and just about every room was empty. It was not a great time. Key is here to fatal effect. These Chimera Brains make me wonder why I bother with any of this. They are decidedly not worth the effort. Moving on. Now, is there a strat to deal with the Chimera Brains and probably set your auto battle so that they don't immediately devastate your ranks and you're burning through a bunch of unnecessary MP? Sure, almost certainly. However, you know as well as I do that the minute that we have our party set up to deal with Chimera Brain ambushes, we'll stop getting them. They almost seem like they are set up to be punishing to players who are using the auto battle feature. Certainly they'd be a lot less challenging if I was going through the game at 5 battle speed. But it's not really conducive to this format. So instead we'll just have to take our lumps and run away from them when we can. Now hopefully soon Rydia will peak over 2000 HP. I think that's probably the thing I'm keeping my eye on next as a party milestone. Out of curiosity, since we're on the subject, how close is Edge to a level up? 55k. Let's see, so 161k is... So he's at about half the experience that Cecil has right now. Big yikes. Although, allusions to minor spoilers, I think perhaps we will not stress too much over Edge's level for too long. I think this was the wrong rope. I don't remember the correct path. I believe... Nope, that's a pass from me. Hard no. Out of curiosity. I don't often do this. Just gotta preface this with that. If I can find the item I'm looking for. Ah. They saw through my my plan. That's okay, though. I was hoping perhaps we could avoid walking back through this entire place, but evidently that's not an option. I believe... No, thank you. Well, we did get a preemptive strike. Yeah, okay. We'll take the one blaze and just move on. $4,000 XP. As I suspected, they are not worth the effort. I'm going to go back to my policy of running on site. Sealed cave entrance. And this is why we couldn't use the emergency exit. Cain, return to me, my pawn. Deliver me the crystal. Cain is back in control of himself. Ow. Lost the dark crystal. Filthy double-crosser. What are you doing? You underestimate the strength of my abilities. I had but slackened your friend's leash, waiting for the proper moment to pull it taut. With this final crystal, the Tower of Babel will be made complete. Come, Cain. The crystals are all assembled. I can open the way to the moon at last. And off he goes. Wahaha! Unbelievable. And like that, we were a party member short. Come on. Don't back attack me here. That's just insult to injury. Get out of here. All right. Well, we're left with nary a clue on where to go from here, so perhaps we'll go back and seek the advice of King Gyot. He was, after all, the one that set us to this task. Maybe he'll have some guidance on where to go next. We've been awaiting your turn. You have the crystal, I assume. We failed. So he holds all of them now. There's nothing more we can do, not unless the legend of the lunar whale were to come true. The lunar whale? Question mark? It is a great ship said to have been built in an age long past. Birthed from the womb of a dragon's maw. Those are the words of the Mysidian legend. You know of Mysidia? It's a city of mages on the surface. You mean to tell me Mysidia is real? Very much so. Its elder has confined himself to their tower of prayer, where he prays for us even now. He prays, you say. Could it be? He may be trying to revive the whale. No, he must be. It is our only hope. Mysidia, that is our answer. You must hurry to Mysidia. But the passage to the surface is sealed now, and we can't even get near the Tower of Babel, not now that all the crystals are there. It's a good thing you've got me then, isn't it? It's Sid, guys! Looking ever the Rankin Bass character. I'll attach a drill to the Falcon's bow, then you'll be able to burrow your way back to the surface. You got bigger things to worry about than a few scratches on old Sid. Let's get to work. Lally-ho! Kind of funny, you tried hitting on Rydia and that did not go well, apparently. Oh! Come on, Sid. I think this is the part where I finally have to bow out and leave the rest of you young ones. I'm no good for much outside of fixing up airships in this condition anyhow. Get well soon. Look after Cecil and Rosa for me, you hear? I don't remember you having enough time to be sitting around talking to crazy old men like me. Well, take care of yourself, Sid. Alright, with that, we are back to the surface. Just as soon as Kai remembers how to get out of the castle. Alright. Let's go have a look at this drill, guys. Look at that. The way to the surface was up here, as I recall. Oh, here we go. perfect. Because that's how drills work, right? All right, then. Now, something I meant to try out here. No such luck. Man, remember when things died to a couple of hits? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Those are worth 4,000 XP. That's as much as a group of 2 of those Chimera Brains. They were really just not the best way to go about leveling. Now, we have switched back to the Enterprise here because there's a bit of a, what shall we call it, a side quest that we kind of alluded to in one of the previous segments here. As you may recall, there was an island somewhere up here where the only way to reach it was with access to both the airship and also the hovercraft. We needed to drop off here, I believe. There we go. I may be misremembering which cave it was that we were looking for, but I don't think that I am. Adamant Isle Grotto, yes. And there was this fellow. I've nothing to discuss with you, excepting you have a tail, of course, but well, that's a different matter altogether, now isn't it? Now we get a rat tail in the underworld. That's a rat tail, dear boy, he brought us a rat tail. I've been searching for one of these for ages. Yes, yes, this should do nicely. Well then, what say I give you a bit of this ore in return? A fair trade, I should think. Obtain adamantite. I don't have any more ore at this point. Or, tails, rather. Now that we've acquired adamantite, when we were in the underworld, there was a dwarf at one of the forges that expressed an ardent desire to always work with adamantite. So, with this in hand, I propose that we go and pay him a visit. Actually, probably quicker to go east and wrap around. We have to set this down first. All right. If you're wondering why we need to swap back, beg pardon. If you're wondering why we need to swap back, it's because only the Falcon has the ability to fly over the lava. Let's see if we can remember which one of these towns we need to visit. Yes, Kokel's Forge. He should be confined to quarters, a bed upstairs, as I recall. he is. My smithing days are done. What good would it do for me to forge another sword? I cannot find the legendary adamantite, and without it I can do no greater work. Shabam. This is adamantite. If age has not robbed me of my wits, I cannot believe it. Allow me to reforge that old sword of yours as a token of my most heartfelt appreciation. Relinquish the Mythgraven blade. Ooh. Here he be. Do not rush me. Great swords are not forged in a day, boy. I'll be as great a smith as my master someday, Lolly. Master Kokol is back to his old self, Lolly. Okay. It seems it will take some time for our sword to be ready. I'm getting a sword made for me. It's fine that you love adventures, but watch out for monsters. No problem. No monster's going to scare me as long as I have that sword. Well, Leviathan's going to get mad at you if you keep putting yourself in harm's way. You should go home. Your friends are worried about you. Come visit me in the Feymarch sometime. Yes, we did have that quest from Leviathan to go track down his wayward subjects. Alrighty then. Whoops, here we are. Back to the surface we shall go. Now, regrettably, we are just about out of time for tonight's segment. We're going to go ahead and make our way back to the city of Mysidia, or the kingdom of Mysidia, where next week we'll have the lunar whale unlocked as our next step, presumably be on our way to the moon. I'll do a little bit of poking around and see if there are any other side quests that are worth doing on the live stream here. Potentially do a little bit of leveling for Edge, but we will see. And in the interim, if you are new to this segment, I do want to call your attention to the link available if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube in the description below. As I mentioned at the top of the segment, that goes to support our most recent nonprofit venture, which is the support of the Trevor Project, which will be running until July 31st. If you don't have any spare change and you're wondering what other way you can assist us in our efforts to do good in the real world, do consider hitting that like and or notification button, or pay us a visit on social media. You can find a link to those in the description below as well. Anything you can do will help us spread our message, which helps us to effect greater positive change in the real world. At any rate, that's all I have for you today. I want to thank you so much for stopping by. This is Kai signing off. We'll see you on Sunday for Sunday Fun Day, and may you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Till next time, folks.